In this video we're going to draw the graph y equal 2x cubed minus x squared minus 8x plus 9. In particular we're going to pay attention to how we set up the window in order to draw the graph exactly as it's shown here on the paper. So first let's look at the calculator. We're going to use the keys y equal, we're going to use the window, we're going to use the hat for saying x to the power 3, and we're going to use the square to say x to the power 2. It's a built-in square function. So to draw this graph we need to set up the axes first. To do that we press window, and that allows us to say what we want for the minimum x value, the maximum x value, and how much we want to increment per notch that's shown on the calculator screen. So here we have -3 as our x minimum and +5 as our x maximum, and we can see that the increment on the x-axis for every unit marked is 1. So we increase by 1, or we can say each notch is worth 1. It's important to know that because when we look at the actual graph when it's drawn on the calculator, we don't get to see the numbers, we just get to see notches like this. So let's input that over here. -3, 5, and the scale is 1. Let's look at the y-axis. We say the minimum value on the y-axis is -5, the maximum value is 20, and we see that we increase on the y-axis in steps of 5, so the scale on the y-axis, the y-scale, is 5. So let's type that in. -5 to 20, and the scale is 5. We next look at all this down here. We get to choose XRes if you want to. We can use 1 or we can use 2. 2 will make it quicker, but we must be careful to always use XRes 1 in the case where you have to draw a reciprocal graph as shown here in unit 6.5. When you look at rational functions, we have a something divided by x, such as this graph here. It's important to use XRes 1 in that case to show the asymptotic behavior correctly. But otherwise we can go ahead and use XRes 2. So let's do that. Okay, now the window's set up. We'll quit from that menu and go onto the y equal menu to type in our function. 2x to the power 3. We need to use the right arrow to return to the main line of the equation. Press enter. Now we're ready to press graph, and there's the graph. Again, we notice that there are no numbers marked on the scales, neither is the label x and y shown on the axes. So we need to know that on the x-axis we entered the scale as 1, which tells us we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the y-axis we entered the scale 5, which shows us this value here is 5, 10, 15, 20, and not 1, 2, 3, 4.